Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we're checking out some more Tower of God Webtoon, and we ended off on a bit of an ominous note. We're going into the third round after we basically won. We did win the second round, but also we didn't because white is a thing, and we couldn't separate out the souls again. Akka got stabbed. It was a whole thing, right? There's definitely some things going on as we go into this round, but a mysterious white-haired figure showed up, and I say that because apparently they are another part of white, but white's who are you? So I don't know what's happening. I'm with Lady Yuri on that whole, I don't know what's going on. That's interesting, I guess. I'm excited and apprehensive going into this because on the one hand, I want to know what's going on. On the other hand, I am a little bit terrified about what's going to happen as we go into this third round. It's this mysterious white-haired figure that people are like, who is this kid? I'm like, apparently tremendous power. And also Evan was freaked out, so that freaks me out. Higher than a ranker. That's fine. That's cool. I guess we're in Slayer nominee territory or Slayer territory. Yes, be suspicious. Yeah, no. The creepy guy hiding in the shadows the entire time and smirking has been hiding something? Wild. Never would have guessed that. Okay, but then what was the creepy blob of white creature that Prince saw? Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Are we picking a side because we also don't want to be absorbed? I don't like you being all up in his space. Especially the you look too kind be roaming around in the darkness. Yeah, tell him off. I like the protectiveness of his core team. You tell him. Everyone's like, what do you mean join? What do you mean? Because I'm just gonna watch and then I'll just jump in. I'll just hop in when I feel like it. The arguing. They have some family issues. Yeah, no one seems to want to be on your side, honestly. You seem to have made some enemies amongst your family. Weird, considering they were all like, hey, let's all team up to be super powerful so we can compete with our own father. It's almost like they have an unhealthy relationship in their family dynamics. Oh yeah, no, I know about the kinds of things he's done too. It's a billion things that have happened in order for him to be where he's at. Poe has been through so much. He's just trying to do his job. Also, we got the whole promise with Rowan thing again. I feel like Daniel's gonna be making deals in the background. He's like, whoever can get me to what I want. That's whose side I'm on. Game intrusion. The indignity of what? Oh, that's fine. Sure. That sounds like just a fun, heartfelt, cozy kind of game to play. Yep. Hey, reunited. I was gonna say, who are your hostages? Okay, we rounded up some people. Cool. I don't think that'll work the same way. Yeah, they couldn't make it this far. Oh, look at their cute little faces. They're so excited. Oh, I think we all know what White's gonna do. Don't show me Rachel like she's gonna care about sacrificing people. Not that I'm salty forever and always. I am. Submarine of Death. Look, the naming has been pretty on the nose with these games. Poe doesn't play around, so I'm gonna assume that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, swirly pipe. Oh, boiling substance. How wonderfully undefined. No pressure. None whatsoever. Aww. It's basically, they will die. No, really? I didn't know that that's what that meant. I love this separation, especially the red on one side, blue on the other side. Okay, so we're gonna go through the center pipe and we're gonna save the hostages. You gotta go down the pipe though anyway? That sounds very nerve-wracking. In the Submarine of Death? No thanks. It's like some old Hollywood villain sounding contraption. Oh, any form of combat. That'll probably be fine. We gotta use them on the descent. Gotcha. Cool. Oh, okay, there's another one. I like a submarine of choice so much better. Maybe. I don't want to call it too soon. Okay. We're adding in a lot of layers of rules. My brain is starting to fuzz out. Doesn't matter. They always go against the rules anyway. Are we gonna have an actual game, or is White just gonna be like, any combat is allowed now? I'm gonna kick the crap out of Violet because he can. And he doesn't care about the hostages, so he's just gonna be like, I'm here to fight. Okay, but I feel like if we're making decisions on things, we should have Kun in the choice one. Woof, there's a lot of moving parts. I got distracted by this substance being like, thank you for pointing that out, just in case I wasn't aware. Okay. Again, this is going to be if White cares about keeping the points, or if he just wants to do violence. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Okay, so we need at least some points, or we are disqualified, and the most hostages wins. I guess it's gonna depend how much White wants to win the game, or just do violence. Aww, Prince. He's been through so much. He needs a break. A vacation. His cute little, almost sailor outfit. Let him be. Yeah, you can't fail. We already had a, we can't fail this. Ooh, that is a gruesome image. But we had in the last couple chapters, it was we can't fail. I'm like, don't put that out there. And then we failed. So, maybe we keep those thoughts to ourselves. Submarine of Survival. Of course, she's I'll go. Chicken. I looked at, I don't trust you. Me neither. I don't want to agree with White, But every once in a while, I'm like, usually in regards to anything with Rachel, whenever he's like against Rachel in some way, I'm like, he's got a point. Will she though? I know what she does to people who help her. I don't mind, but you suck. Ooh, these two meet again. Oh, look, sometimes Kun and I, same wavelength. He's usually a few hundred steps ahead of me, but sometimes. God's Chosen versus Rachel. Playing a game. I'm assuming this is our, like, the one where we're the choice or whatever. I feel like she's both reckless and stubborn. But I love the confidence of him just being like, this isn't even a competition. You couldn't beat me in luck. Come on. Yeah, I don't like this leverage though. I get that he's interested, but the more that he brings it up, the more that I'm like, you're giving her something to use against you though. She probably has some kind of idea. Yeah, she does have a point. I'm like, this is unequally in White's team's favor because Mom is going to try and save every single person. Even if it's not from his team, he's going to try and save them because he doesn't want people to die, regardless of who it is. Whereas White's going to be like, as long as he's not disqualified, I don't think it matters. He's just, I have to have enough to win, and I have to not run out of points. They don't matter, though, lives, right? If he decides to play it all, right? He might just get partway through and be like, I don't actually care. I'm here for violence. And they got a lot more points, but also White does not have the empathy needed for this game to really work the way it's supposed to. Yeah, I hate that she's right. I hate that I agree. Don't make me do that. Poor Prince. No, you didn't. I was there. I'm like, I remember what it was like when you were around. But you know what you did? You ran when Teddy Bear told you to. You did survive an encounter with him, though. And that ain't nothing. I think it's interesting, though, to have this whole game where you're like, oh, obviously, Bam is the kind of person who will not make sacrifices of his friends in order to win a game, right? Or to get the upper hand, right? He's not interested in power and control, so he's not going to do that. But then you get someone like Kun who can have some kind of say in how this game is going to go. At least some choice, negotiation in it. And it becomes a slightly different dynamic, right? Because Kun can be ruthless when he wants to be. And while I believe that he cares about the people that he sees as friends or that he sees as useful, if it becomes like the hostage is one of the other team members, I don't think he's gonna pull punches. Like, again, I was like, Bomb's probably gonna try and save everybody. It could be like Casino going down and he'd be like, I'm gonna try and save him because that's a human life, right? That's a person that I said human, that's not necessarily true, but like tower, right? But that's a life, I'm gonna try and save them. Whereas Kun's, do we need him? Would it be simpler without him? Oh, poor sweetie, I just want to give him a hug. Why are your eyes so creepy? I hate the mockery. Ooh, I love the countdown like over the panels. Because it is like a timer, right? You only have as long as that descent lasts. He does value other people's lives more than his own. But do you, Kun? Not so much. Yeah, he can't just rush out, right? He has to think about his points. But he's also antsy. Oh, and but like you also have to sit there and listen to that, like someone like Prince yell at how like they want to be saved and they don't want to die. And you also have to like gamble with the fact that you're going to be able to get there fast enough. But you also have to save everybody. This is stressing me out. It's not even real and I'm not even competing. He's pretty fast though, but he was worn out after the last encounter with White. Like his speed glitched out on him. Yeah, there's so much going on. Oof. Boy, does he. He does like to take people's lives. I guess you would know, wouldn't she? Because of Slayer against Jaha, but also like it was a princess who ended up going up against him last time. Tried to do a whole spell and kill a bunch of people. 10th Slayer, that is unnerving considering that that implies that there are a bunch before. I wonder if we'll learn which one. Like which princess it was. Don't like how entertained they are by this whole thing. It's very unnerving. Magic? We seem to be dealing with magic now. Yeah, I agree. There's some weird stuff going on. Yeah. You're like, oh no, it was rigged? Yeah. Of course it was. Shady. Yeah. You're the only ones who shouldn't be here, technically. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I know that, which is probably why he's been keeping you occupied here the whole time. Oh yeah, and y'all need approval to be here, in a place that you should not be, making deals that you should not be making. Oh yeah, we have that whole contact thing too. Oh, hi. I don't like that. I like how I'm like, ooh, that's very unnerving, I don't like it. And Lady is just like, what a jerk. Thank you for having that energy. Oh, the 3D glasses weren't a gag? Dang. Is this related to the other princess that we met that had all the screens? I love that the 3D glasses weren't just them having fun for the sake of humor. It's like fun, but also useful. Hinting at something important. I was gonna say, isn't that the one that we met all the way back forever ago in season 2? Dang, let's go. She's scary. And I'm like, I'm glad that you're like basically on our side. Kinda. Sorta. She seems to want Bob alive, so that makes me feel like she's at least on our side. Yeah, I think the intention is to put you in a difficult situation. Dang! Sometimes I forget just how scary she is, because she is played as this kind of chaotic, comedic beat in some of the story and panels and stuff, and then she has these moments where she is just terrifying. I'm also noticing that these chapters are getting longer, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just noticing. Oh, my sweet prince. Someone help him. Yeah, I'm like, White's probably not gonna budge, or he's gonna wait until the absolute last second, being like, I'm powerful enough that I can figure this out, but also, like, he doesn't have enough points to win this. Boy, you're just gonna have to be fast. Ooh, I love how we're getting some of the, like, coin. It makes me think of the coin toss, the, like, luck again. That was, like, a big thing in the previous games. I don't know if I would have gone with 30. It's gonna buy him a little bit of time, though, because White couldn't move even if he wanted to. He doesn't have enough to descend. So it's gonna give him some time where he doesn't have to deal with White. But also, it's cutting her close. But, like, maybe not close enough in terms of, I'm like calculating, I'm like, how many people do we have to save? I don't know, you might have to. There might be some luck involved. Yeah, even that's a bit much. I feel like it's gonna give us maybe some confidence, though, some calculations to be like, all right, if he goes at this point, how long does it take him to save Prince? And then we can maybe calculate for later. White most definitely wants to fight, especially with no combat rules. Ooh, we're getting the countdown, though. We've gone down past how long White has to wait. Yeah, I was gonna say 112. I'm like, that's not enough to save everybody if 30 is the lowest we're comfortable with. Poor Prince Darling. You got saved, though. How long did that take? Did we got to 10, right? So we could have gone lower than 30. We saved him, though. Aw, I like how everybody's excited. Cute. Every time I see Rachel, I want to just roll my eyes. I find it so hard. Yeah, I was like, Kuhn probably would have done calculations and he would have been like, what is the absolute lowest we can go before we need to intervene? I love how Rock's, hey, I want to be in the bubble. Focus, my guy. I don't like your face either. The smugness. See, okay, my problem is not the trying to save everybody. It's the, like, trying to save all the hostages from his team. It's, is he gonna try and save everybody? Because the moment that one of White's team members is put into the little submarine of death, is Mom gonna be able to just stand there and not do anything the way that White would, right? Like, he wasn't budging. He doesn't care if Prince lives or dies. Doesn't need to. But if he stands there and doesn't do anything when one of his team members might die, can Bomb stand there and not do anything? He's gonna try and save them. Again, it doesn't matter who they are, what team they're on. He's got to life and I'm gonna have to save them. Yeah, somebody give Prince a hug. You've been a hostage a lot. You've been through a lot of things. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Ooh, Rock's thinking, who is it this time? Oh, was it the person that I was like, we didn't get a name, but they were all like, Casino seemed to be concerned about? I feel like no, except for being able to win, but also you can't run out of points. So no. Oh, is this Angel? Oh, we got a name. The person who was taken hostage before, though, back when we were doing the game between Kuhn and Rachel, the coin toss. I'm assuming that's who this is. Just having a conversation about like politics and rulers and all of that. Okay, we're talking about outside the tower again, though. Oh, okay. I mean, that does tend to be the story of how monarchs get dethroned. I'm like, how much of this is true and how much of this isn't? I don't know. I'm just like, you were good. People liked you. Doesn't sound right. You do being a god. Oh, we're talking about how power corrupts. A little bit cyclical. Dang, the faces are creepy. But like, take a bunch of people who are like downtrodden and desperate and have been left behind by the structures of people in like power and authority, and you tell them, hey, you deserve better. And you feed the rage that they have and the frustration and the desperation, they're going to lash out. You made 2 warring countries on purpose? Maybe. He does like to sacrifice lives. That would be one way to go about it. Yeah, I made sure that they kept hating one another. Yeah. I mean, it's like I was saying with the previous team with Buddha and Akka and stuff. I was like, one way to bring mistrust amongst that group was to have, out of all of them, have Rowan be the one who ended up killing someone. Because that is going to have ripple effects on every single person in that group. I'm like, that's clever. Because if you want infighting and mistrust, that's the person that you need to go for. And it seems that is something that he has a lot of experience in, given this story. Using someone's religious beliefs against them is a way to make them do terrible things. There's a billion people die again. Yeah, I was like, I assume that this is because he was like, I like to eat souls. So causing a war between 2 countries all the way down into like religious beliefs, right? Like basic ideologies and the base of their morality is a way of controlling people and getting them to feel like there was something righteous in their hatred and violence towards someone else. Yeah, it was like, be kind and giving and virtuous in order to paint yourself as a god and then use that belief system against them. It's diabolical. Patient. Yeah, I was like, patient, you spent a lot of time on that. Is this the spell in question that we tried and got interrupted with? Yeah. Dang, what a line. A monarch's power derives from using the rage and stupidity of the masses. That's one way of talking about it. He doesn't want to be the slayer. He doesn't want it. He just wants you to not be the person in that position of power. The sacrifice of it's a shame, but I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, I'm not going to save him. And I'm like, and that's where Bomb's going to run into a problem, because he can negotiate his points for his own hostages he has to save. It is another thing for him to sit back and watch someone else get sacrificed from White's team. Especially since the people that have been hostages, he's, oh, you weren't good enough to make it to the last round as someone who could compete. You're of no use to me. Yeah, Sachi's he's gonna get involved. We've hit 30 mark before, but we can't save everybody if you go at 30. Oh, when we can't see Bomb's eyes, it's a little scary. Ooh, jeez. Boy, we're getting low on the numbers though, but you seem to be going Super Saiyan again, and that's a little scary. I feel like there was so much in that. I feel like it's reminding me of just how scary some of the players are in this part of the story, between Lady Yuri and her being like, oh yeah, by the way, we recorded this whole thing. I love that the 3D glasses weren't just like a comedic gag, that there was like going all the way back. And I was like, oh, we had that one princess who had all of the screens and stuff that we were asking for like help all the way at the beginning, I think like very beginning of season 2. So I'm like pulling that thread all the way to this moment, which is great. Like with all the stories and plot lines with Lady Yuri, there's always like a lot of kind of space in between the different points, because she's this like peripheral character to the main story, right? She's always on the outside of Bomb's story, so we have lots of space in between when we get to check in on her and her part in the story, but it's always like pivotal to what's going on. There's always a lot of impact to it, so I like that we got some of that. But then also the backstory with White, and I think that it's really telling the kind of manipulation there, right? If you have the patience and the time, then yeah, a good way of getting a bunch of lives to be sacrificed is to start a war between two nations, even if you have to make those nations up. Create a religion to fuel that, and it's just like extra accelerant to that conflict. And it puts into perspective how he got to something like 1 billion lives, right? Because that's the sad truth about wars, especially ones that are based on like morals and ideology and all of that, that if you can paint the other side as monsters, especially from a place like religion or like moral foundation, they become some of the most gruesome conflicts, because people think that they have a right to kill those people and to be violent towards them. So it's an interesting story, but also terrifying that someone would just put in that much effort. And I think that it not only gives like some backstory on who White is and like the conflict that got him into this whole situation of what he was trying to pull off and why people are so scared of him, why there's kind of this legend about him, right? Like the kind of religious zealous around him, but also the fear that you see from some of the more like powerful people like Lady Yuri and all of that. But it also puts into perspective of if he is willing to create two nations and pit them against each other and start a conflict based on a religion of himself to sacrifice 1 billion people, why would he care about 3 hostages being killed in this game? As opposed to like Bomb, who's his whole thing is I just want to be with my friends, right? I just want to not have to say goodbye to people anymore. I just want to not be alone. Very different here. And I'm like, that's where we're going to run into problems, because if we have to sacrifice these points, these dollars, right, in order to save these hostages, I'm like, 30 is fine if we just have to save ours, but there's no way that Bomb can sit back and let anybody be sacrificed regardless of who they are, what team it's on. So we're gonna have to deal with that in the next one, but he seems to be powering up a bit, so we'll see how that goes as we continue in this game, because I feel like Bomb is going to have to step in quite a bit. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click those places to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss the time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.